Find RX coverage tool, you can compare plans online, over the phone, or in person, making Medicare easier than ever. Easier than picking which true crime doc to watch, figuring out that Wi-Fi password, or putting the duvet cover back on. So if you can do those things, with Find RX coverage, you can definitely Medicare. Find the plan that's right for you by visiting walgreens.com/Medicare.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation helps America to never forget 9/11. This year, the foundation is giving 200 mortgage-free homes to Gold Star and fallen first responder families with young children and catastrophically injured veterans and first responders. In a tribute to the fallen, the foundation's chairman and CEO walked from the Pentagon to Shanksville and on to Ground Zero. Never forget. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at t2t.org.
Opening statements set for tomorrow at the Georgia trial of 3 white men charged in the murder of an unarmed black man out for a run in their neighborhood.
Wanda Cooper Jones, the mother of victim Ahmaud Arbery, says she's concerned the jury in this racially charged case is nearly all white.
It's like unreal. I mean, I just can't put it into words. I was very shocked that we only had one black African-American man. I mean, it's devastating.
Prosecutors complained that the defense appeared to cut several potential jurors because of their race. The judge agreed, but said Georgia law limited what he could do about it because the defense had provided non-discriminatory reasons for their strikes. In Brunswick, Georgia, Jonathan Seri, Fox News.
A Russian analyst who was part of the run-up to the Russia probe, providing information for a controversial dossier, is now charged with lying to the FBI about his work. Igor Danchenko, indicted by a federal grand jury in Virginia as part of a special counsel's investigation of the Russia probe origins. 'Tis the season to find out which tree makes the cut to be famous.
Shaking in its roots right now, a Norway spruce that fits the bill, a unique backyard tree with a hardy constitution and a Christmas tree shape, able to bear a heavy load of ornaments. This year's Rockefeller Center tree will not be from New York or New Jersey, but Elkton, Maryland, a 79-foot Norway spruce donated by a family to be cut down next Thursday, dressed in festive red bows for the huge road trip to New York City, November 13th. Set on a steel spike, swaddled with 50,000 LED lights and topped with a 900-pound Swarovski crystal star.
Fox's Therese Crowley. The tree lighting isn't until December 1st. New highs for the S&P and the NASDAQ, the Dow finishing down 33 points. I'm Lisa Brady. This is Fox News.
Clear skies this evening as temperatures slide off into the 40s, and then clouds will be on the increase overnight. Not as cool. We'll drop down to a low in the mid-30s. Mostly cloudy then for your Friday. Still decent with south winds of 10 to 20, highs in the mid-50s. Really nice weather settles in here over the weekend. Mostly sunny skies and light winds. We'll have highs both Saturday and Sunday right around 60. Remember, you can always find the full forecast at am1100theflag.com. From the Flag Skywatch Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki.
The Shields Visa Card Member Appreciation Event is here. Now through November 14th, card members can earn 5 points per dollar on Shields purchases, plus up to an additional $25 off your favorite items when using your Shields Visa. Whether you're shopping for yourself or the entire family, it's the perfect time to take advantage of being a card member. Not a card member? Apply now in store, through the Shields app, or online at shields.com/Visa card. Reward your passion with a Shields Visa. Got it.
One.
Welcome to the Chris Berg Show, coming to you live from the PetroServe USA studios. Yes, as you're driving around, be sure and stop into your local PetroServe USA, helping you and America fuel better. We are going to start here today. Lots happening. Osha finally released the rule as far as the COVID shots, the COVID mandates, and what that could look like for large employers. There was a tweet out earlier today suggesting that Osha now is going to go after employers with less than 100 employees as well. Folks, they're just doing this one step at a time. Number to call into the show to share your point of view, very easy to do. You just grab your phone, dial 701-271-1100, 701-271-1100. Question for you and your kids. If your kids were to take the COVID shot, do you believe that the COVID shot would give your kids superpowers? Do you think that if your kids were to take the COVID shot, they would become a superhero? Is that a possibility? I'm presuming many of you out there are going to say, no, Chris, I don't believe that if my kid were to take the COVID shot, that they're going to all of a sudden have superpowers or become a superhero. Wait until you see the video I play for you in a few moments. I'm going to get this set up for you so that we can hear this through the right lens. And I got to be honest with you folks, because I've been telling you now for quite some time, look, they are coming for your kids. I've explained why. We've laid different scenarios out. They're coming for your kids. I watched this video today, and I'm going to share with you the lens that they want you to see this through. I'm not kidding. The video brought tears to my eyes because I was so disgusted. So shocked and stunned and disgusted and like, really? Is this what we're doing these days? Is this what we're doing these days with our kids? Let me ask you a better question about your kids. You may not believe that the COVID shot would give your kids superpowers, but here, think about this for a moment. If your little ones, because when your little ones ask for, hey, you're out at Target, hey, can I get this toy? Sure, just grab it. Can I get this candy, Dad? Sure, just get it. Like, you're just like, yes, it's our kids. They want something, of course. Here, just get it. So if your kids were to believe that the COVID shot gave them superpowers, turned them into a superhero, and then they came to you and they're like, Mommy, Daddy, didn't you, look at this. If I get this shot, I'm going to have superpowers. I might be like Flash, where I can run fast, or maybe I can fly. Come on, Mommy and Daddy. Just let me get the shot. It's going to give me superpowers. I can be a superhero and I can save the planet and I can help save people's lives. Don't you want me to do that, Mommy and Daddy? Sounds insane as it even comes out of my mouth, doesn't it? Wait until you see or hear what I'm about to share with you. And sadly enough, it's not insane. It's a reality in our world right now. So I'm going to play that video for you in a moment. And I'm always listening to you, our audience. And so twice now, I'm one of those people, I honestly believe as I go through my life, God will drop little hints and, okay, Chris, pay attention to this, pay attention to that. So I've had a few people now that have said to me, hey, Chris, you're using this term PSYOP a lot. And if you don't know, a PSYOP is a psychological operation. And I've been saying now that this is the greatest PSYOP in the history of humankind, what we're experiencing right now. And so I've had a few people now say to me, hey, Chris, you may know PSYOP, other people, but not everyone understands what PSYOP stands for. So again, it's a psychological operation, but I want to play for you a quick video. This is from, and this is why I think this is so powerful. This is from the U.S. Army recruiting video. The title of the video is PSYOP. The title of the video is PSYOP. So I want to set this up because it's a U.S. Army recruiting video. It's our military. It's our government. Our government. I've asked you now a few times here to check out Operation Mockingbird. So this is from our government. And as you listen to this video, I'm just going to play a little bit for you. You're going to hear words like military and government, but see it in the context of the media being an arm of the government, Democrat Party, etc. I want you to listen from that place going, okay, when I hear military, that's the media of the mainstream. That's what's happening right now in our nation. So think about the mission. OSHA just released the new rules. Think about the mission right now that many perceive the government to be on as far as making sure everyone gets this COVID shot. Now, when you understand it on what a PSYOP is and you hear this video, you go, oh. And then I'm going to play for you a video about how the COVID shot is being portrayed to give your kids superpowers. Listen closely. Here's first U.S. Army recruiting video talking about, and I'm going to kind of play and pause because I want to comment on some of this stuff. But again, PSYOP, psychological operation. Here's the very first words.
Persuade, change, influence.
Wow. Persuade, change, influence. That is the media. That is what government is trying to do. Remember, we've talked about this before. Joe Biden stood up and we need to persuade and change and influence people to take the COVID shot. They've been trying to give away $1 million, giveaways, thing called social proof, which I'll get to in a moment. Social proof, one of the most powerful persuasion tools on the planet. So again, PSYOP, persuade, change, influence. Now listen to this in the context of the mainstream media.
That is the motto of the U.S. Army's Psychological Operations Regiment. Military operations do not always require lethal force on a battlefield. Military information support operations can employ non-lethal actions and messages to attain military objectives.
To obtain military objectives.
PSYOP soldiers are highly skilled, specialized operators whose work encompasses executing psychological actions in the development and dissemination of influential messages.
Are you listening? A PSYOP operation is to go out and disseminate influential messages to change. Remember, persuade, influence, change, right? Mainstream media, commercials. Hi, this is Anderson Cooper with CNN, brought to you by Pfizer. Hi, this is Meet the Press, brought to you by Pfizer.
The most important thing for a PSYOP soldier is to be very well-rounded. It's an ability to fit into any environment.
Trained in persuasive techniques, PSYOP soldiers use their skills to change attitudes, behaviors, values, beliefs, and
the deepest thing that you and I have as humans is our values. Often for many of us, they're unconscious. We don't even know what the values are that drive, literally values and beliefs drive every decision of our lives. And I just played you a clip here suggesting that the U.S. Army, mainstream media, is now running psychological operations to change people's beliefs, values, thus actions. Hello, COVID operation, right? I know. Let's have a lottery and we'll give away $1 million if you take this shot. Oh, it's emergency youth authorization only? Don't worry about it. You get $1 million.
and influence foreign audiences through executing actions in the delivery of messages utilizing a variety of techniques.
Tactical PSYOP team will usually be attached to a special forces team, and what they do is they look at what those teams are trying to do, and in order to support that, they find behaviors of the local populace that they can change to best accomplish that mission.
To best accomplish that mission. They're going to go in, folks, they've already laid out the game plan. And I wish I had the clip for us right now, but there was a press conference a while back where you had President Joe Biden, I think it was even Dr. Fauci was there saying, yeah, you know what, we're having this vaccination hesitation in our nation. And gee, we can't figure it out why there's so much vaccination hesitation in our nation. So they literally told us, like, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go into communities. We're going to find influential people, pastors, people that you trust, and then we're going to have them PSYOP you. That's social proof. If you've ever read the book Influence by Robert Cialdini, you understand social proof. And social proof is when you find somebody that you trust, that you look up to. It could be an athlete, movie star, whoever, that this is how they use these persuasion tools on you. And so then they'll get one of these people to go, hey, look, I mean, remember all the pictures? Our governor, different governors, different elected leaders that are out. They had the pictures of them taking the shot. Like, see, I did it. You can do it too. That is social proof. That is one of the PSYOP tools that they use to influence and persuade. I'm only sharing all this with you because I think it's so important that you and I can see things with clear eyes, not through mainstream media glasses. How does that sound? I need to get some of that. Can somebody make me a pair of mainstream media glasses where I just see everything through the mainstream media glasses? I'm asking you and I to take those glasses off. And maybe not forever. You might like them. You might like the view through those lenses, right? I'm just inviting you and I to sort of take them off and go, hey, look, there's another pair of glasses over here that I can try on. And maybe the view of the world will be a bit more, I would say, accurate, truthful, faithful, loving. Those are some words I might use to describe to see the world a little bit more accurately. So I want to set this context up because when we come back and live stream, people that are watching us on live stream, stick around because I'm actually going to show you the video where our kids. Now, why would you go after kids? I've told you before, one, parents will do anything to defend their kids, but two, because as you and I both know, kids' brains are extremely malleable. So it's easy. You plant some seeds in a kid's brain, that thing bears fruit a lot faster than it does in somebody who's 55, 65, 75 years old, right? You've kind of hardened your beliefs by the time you're 55, 65. But when you're 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and they start planting seeds in you with messages, that soil is wide open. It is wide open. You just start dropping seeds in that thing, water it a little bit, and pew, there's some fruit. Pew, there's some, it just starts growing. So keep that in mind because when we come back, I'm going to have you listen to, and for the people that are on the live stream, show you this video. This is the video because I believe I understand the PSYOP piece of what's going on to an extent, right? I'm not on the inside circles, but I'm seeing it through a certain lens. And I don't know if this is embarrassing or not to say. It's just authentic because my cousin sent me the video. I mean, it brought tears to my eyes. I thought, gosh, what are we doing to our kids right now? So if you want to call in, talk about PSYOPs, what's happening right now in the situation with the Osha rules, the video I'm going to share with you in a moment, very easy to do, 701-271-1100. 701-271-1100. This is the Chris Berg Show coming to you live from the PetroServe USA studios.
It's all in your head, dear.
You think I'm making this up?
No, I'm trying to tell you, it's all in your head.
It hurts.
It's all in your head, and that's why you're missing work, the kids' ball games, and those good nights of sleep you used to get. Those migraines are why you're not much fun to be around these days.
Oh, it is all in my head.
If you suffer from migraines, you know you're missing out on a lot. It's not just your head that's hurting, it's the people closest to you. Stop missing out on all the good things and good times life has to offer. Go to renewmedicalpainclinic.com.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. I'm a better neighbor because my service has taught me how important it is to be a team player. My training helps me in my classes when I give attention to detail to the task at hand. My service also allows me to be there for my community in ways others can't. I help my hometown recover after nature strikes. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my country and those I care about safe from threats. I also work with a network of professionals that help me succeed. Also, the Army National Guard's education benefits make getting a higher education a reality. Being an Army National Guard soldier makes living and serving in my community more rewarding every day. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the North Dakota Army National Guard. Aired by the North Dakota Broadcasters Association at this station.
Attention all patriots. Inflation is rising. Our borders are overrun. Our state is divided. On November 8th in Bismarck, we the people will rally on the Capitol steps at high noon. This is our time to say enough. As patriots, we value faith, family, community, and our great state of North Dakota. As patriots, we will stand united, and we will be heard on November 8th in Bismarck on the Capitol steps at high noon. Join us.
Would you like to get back that full head of hair from years past? Introducing Reveal from GCNlife.com. Beverly Hills dermatologist Dr. Nathan Newman invented Reveal, which contains polypeptides with natural botanicals and no parabens, sulfates, silicones, or dyes for a salon-quality hair growth product. Reveal. Here's Dr. Newman.
I've treated a lot of patients who lose their hair and they lose their confidence. We've created a unique set of polypeptides, which we call HPT6. The HPT6 contains the polypeptides from 6 different plants. The scalp infusion treatment should be used on wet or dry scalp. The Reveal hair care system is designed to be used for men and women alike.
Reveal is not available in stores. There is a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you don't have anything to lose to return to that full head of hair you once had. So try Reveal today at GCNlife.com. There's a preferred customer discount up to 25% off as well for Reveal at GCNlife.com.
Now
I said, son, now where'd you learn to pray? I fixed some things and holding mama's hand. Yeah, we're just
Wow. Producer BG, thank you very much. That's obviously a dad talking about his offspring and how they're watching them. And we all know how influential your actions are when it comes to our kids. We all know the impact that a kid's community, their friends have on their decisions. And I mean, we all know the old saying, right? Show me the 5 people you hang around, I'll show you who you are, essentially. So when you've got kids saying to them, hey, do this, do that, we all know the things of peer pressure. I call that social proof. Welcome back to the Chris Berg Show, coming to you live from the PetroServe USA studio. Number to call into the show if you want to share your point of view, 701-271-1100, 701-271-1100. So before the break, I was sharing with you how we are experiencing this PSYOP, and I asked, why would they go after the kids? And then I also asked you, so do you believe or have any inkling whatsoever that if your kids were to take the COVID shot, that they would get superpowers or become superheroes? So I'm going to presume most of you are going to say no. And if your kids were to believe that if they took the COVID shot, that they became a superhero and got superpowers, do you think they would want to be a superhero and get superpowers? For most people, I'm going to presume that kids are going to say yes. Now you have to deal with a young person going, Dad, Mom, I mean, look, if I get this COVID shot, I'm going to have superpowers. I can be a superhero. I can save the world. Like, please, can I just get the shot? Now you got to deal with that, right? We all know how that goes. So I'm going to play a video for you. And you, by the end, I'll tell you who actually produced the video. You're probably going to guess as you hear it. This is the video when I watched it. I don't know, maybe I'm having one of those days, but just brought tears to my eyes. So producer Chris Larson, if you can bring this up when I hit play, that would be great.
Getting ready to fight COVID.
All of us want to be superheroes, and the most important heroes are those that help others. This year, thousands of kids like us around the world joined the COVID-19 vaccine trial.
Kid power.
And when they did, they became all superheroes. To all the kids who volunteer, we'd like to say,
Thank you! Thank you!
Thank you for sharing your superpowers of
Courage,
trying new things,
the ability to save people,
the power to help people,
helping not just yourself, but many other kids.
to not be scared,
Be strong,
super brave,
bravery, and courage.
a superhero shot, helping everybody, fight coronavirus and help others. You're helping the whole entire world. Thank you. You are all superheroes.
Thank you! Thank you, superheroes!
Thank you. You're awesome.
Do you have any idea how powerful and persuasive that piece of media is if a young person sees it? A bunch of their peers, thank you. You're awesome. You're a superhero. You just volunteered for the COVID shot trial. Thank you. You're amazing. That piece of media is so persuasive to a young person if they are seeing that, especially if you're not around to watch it with them, which, oh, by the way, any idea who paid for that? Very persuasive piece of media, PSYOP, military media. I've been laying the eggs for you, right? The Easter eggs. I hope that some of these crumbs, some of these Easter eggs that I'm laying down, you're like, I'll pick that up. Okay, I got that one. Pfizer just created that incredible persuasive piece of media. And the reason I'm using persuasive is why. Because just a moment ago, I played for you. What are the three triads of the PSYOP? One of them was persuasive, influence, and change, right? And I want to remind you of Pfizer. And a reason I'm bringing all this up from a PSYOP perspective, from the standpoint that the media is owned. We all know this. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out. But sometimes when you see it in your face, you hear it in your own ears, you kind of go, oh, boy, I didn't realize it was like that. So I'm going to get to that in a moment. I want to go to phone calls because obviously the most important part of the show is you. So we want to get to a call out of Valley City. The number to call into the show is 701-271-1100, 701-271-1100. As always, you can talk about anything you want on the show because it's your show. We create this show together. So Justin from Valley City, welcome to the show. What's your point of view?
Yeah, hey there, Chris. You know what the kryptonite is for those superheroes then, right?
Well, wait. This is going to be good. I got to think of the kryptonite for those superheroes is going to be, I don't know, love? What?
COVID-19. It's not like you can't still get it. Right?
Well, I mean, it's so amazing that you say that because I'm looking through these OSHA rules and it's like, hey, medical facility, if you don't have everybody vaccinated, then, and it's like, wait a second. So if I have natural immunity, that doesn't matter at all. So, hey, you got me. Thank you, Justin. Anything else you have on your mind, sir?
Yeah, actually, I called because my wife came home really upset from work yesterday, and the place that she works, that she's employed by, is installing the whole the Biden vaccine mandate, and it's just upsetting to us as a family. So it's the Trump was upsetting the liberals because he said things that they didn't like, et cetera, et cetera. These are policies that are literally affecting families to the core, possibly taking homes away and just shifting lives all over the place.
So what do you think, Justin? I don't know if you caught yesterday's show, but for our audience, I would encourage everybody to go and watch my monologue from yesterday. Like, what do you think the purpose is? Here we are. We've got this workforce shortage. We've got shipping issues. It's hurting the economy, and yet someone had some genius idea and go, I know, we don't have enough healthcare workers to take care of the current people. Let's put a mandate in place. Like, what are they doing?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I think it gets down to the bottom line of literally not caring about the American people, even though they say that all the time. I don't think they do. You can't install those kind of policies and actually care. My wife and I were talking last night, and we were thinking maybe she should, other than using the religious exemption and some other possible things through Liberty Counsel, of maybe going in and saying she identifies as vaccinated, because the leftists can do all kinds of stuff with that one. And they, of course their comeback might be, well, we can prove, whether you've had the vaccine or not. Well, but evidently you can't, when you're male or female, that's a scientific test, DNA.
Oh my God.
It's just insanity. It's pure evil and insanity.
Man, will you continue to call back? That is, I can't believe I haven't thought of that one yet. That was genius. Sir, can I see your vaccination card? Well, I identify as vaccinated. Is that okay?
I mean, how can they argue that from their worldview, right?
No, you totally.
How can they argue it?
You absolutely nailed it. I wish that would work for your wife's employer if she just showed up to, you know what? I appreciate that, but I just want you to know that I identify as vaccinated. So I'm going to come back and go to work. Justin, thank you for the call. Great stuff. I appreciate it. Please call back with some more of those, because that was
you bet.
Phenomenal.
Take care, Chris. Thanks.
Number to call in, 701-271-1100. 701-271-1100. And yes, I hope you and I both, all of us, identify as vaccinated. Stick around. Much more coming up right here on the Chris Berg Show.
Clear skies this evening as temperatures slide off into the 40s, and then clouds will be on the increase overnight. Not as cool. We'll drop down to a low in the mid-30s. Mostly cloudy then for your Friday. Still decent with south winds at 10 to 20, highs in the mid-50s. Really nice weather settles in here over the weekend. Mostly sunny skies and light winds. We'll have highs both Saturday and Sunday right around 60. Remember, you can always find the full forecast at am1100theflag.com. From the Flag Skywatch Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki.
Fix It Forward Auto Care, the name you trust for car repair.
At Fix It Forward Auto Care, they know how stressful it is when your auto isn't running right. That's why they work hard to offer same-day or next-day service, loaner cars, key drop-off, and text messaging. They will even pick up and drop off your car, and you can pay online or over the phone. That's Fix It Forward Auto Care.
Fix It Forward Auto Care.
Hi, this is Kevin Pfeiffer with Pfeiffer's Auction Company. Pfeiffer's November auctions include farm equipment retirement auctions in North Dakota and Minnesota, excellent cropland in Grand Forks County, and excellent crop and hunting land in Stark County, and 2 exceptional ranches in Montana. Don't forget all of these auctions and many more auctions at Pfeiffer's.com or call a Pfeiffer's agent 877-700-4099.
Custom Express Car Wash has 3 great locations, with 2 in Fargo and the new location on Highway 10 in Moorhead. Not only does Custom Express Car Wash give you the best car wash in Fargo Moorhead with free vacuums, but now they also give you the only car wash that has pumpkin spice. Hands down, Custom Express is the best car wash in Fargo Moorhead. And I recommend that you get the unlimited pass like I have. That way you can keep your car looking clean all fall long. Custom Express Car Wash with locations in Fargo and Moorhead.
Mike Lindell has done it once again. A MyPillow for $19.98. Are you kidding me? That's right. Mike Lindell has an amazing offer for our listeners on his standard MyPillows. A standard MyPillow, regularly $69.98, is now only $19.98. There's all kinds of deep discounts right now on all MyPillow products, the MyPillow towels, the sheets, the mattress toppers, the slippers, and so much more. Just go to MyPillow.com, click on that radio listener square, and get this deal, $19.98 for Mike's standard MyPillow, or call 800-506-9028. Just use the promo code Scott at MyPillow.com or call 800-506-9028. Made in the USA, comes with a 10-year warranty. You know it's going to last, and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Nothing to lose. Go to MyPillow.com, promo code Scott, or call 800-506-9028 right now. MyPillow.com, promo code Scott, or call 800-506-9028.
'Tis the season for client gifting. This year, the elves at Grateful Craples are ready to take the stress of gifting off your shoulders. Just think, no building boxes, no long post office lines. Simply choose your gift set, send us your spreadsheet, and we'll take it from there. We are currently booking 2021 gifting dates. Call Danny at 532-1630, visit us online at gratefulcratefuls.com, or stop by our showroom at 300 Cheyenne Street in West Fargo today.
Hey, Chris Berg here. I want to grab your attention to all freedom lovers out there. Come out and join us Monday, November 8th in Bismarck for the We the People, We Will Not Comply rally. In fact, just to give you a little bit of an idea of what I'm talking about, how about this?
I comply.
Yeah, Blind Joe.
Quit trying to take me to task, cause I don't want to wear a mask or take a vaccine that could maybe make me die. They got no science.
Blind Joe is going to be at the rally as well, Monday, November 8th in Bismarck. It's the We the People, We Will Not Comply rally. We had Justin call in from Valley City a moment ago. We all know, hey, jobs are being threatened with these unlawful, unconstitutional vaccine mandates, coercion being used. It is dividing our nation when we need to be uniting our nation. This is a chance to come together and say, enough is enough, and tell our legislators, hey, make sure we pass some kind of law to stop these unconstitutional mandates. Go to the website, wethepeoplend.com. Again, wethepeoplend.com to find out more about it. There's a little video. There's some videos up there. I want to play just a bit of one for you right now.
Current political system is broken. They can't agree on the color of black. And my core values tell me that we're born the way we're born. People may need help. I'm all for that. But at the end of the day, I am a patriot. I'm a patriot to the United States. Spent some time.
There you go. Come on out, freedom lovers, and join us Monday, noon to 2 at the Capitol. Monday, noon to 2 at the Capitol for We the People, We will not comply rally.
In God we still trust. Hey.
Coming to you live from the PetroServe USA studios, helping you and America feel better as you're driving around. Stop into your local PetroServe USA, grab some gas and some goodies, the cookies. And yes, we all need to take some time and just pray to God for the restoration of our nation because of all the vaccination. I love when we rhyme. Number to call to the show, 701-271-1100. Love to know your point of view on what is going on here with this situation of going after our kids. The video we played for, if you want to talk about the new Osha ruling as well, there's some details we're going to dive into there. Again, 701-271-1100. Kelly's on the line with us. Kelly, welcome to the show. What's your point of view?
Hey, Chris. Kelly from Wahpeton. Just wanted to talk to you a little bit about what's going on with our children and how they're possibly going to be misled about this vaccination. I'm a teacher, a man of God, father, husband. I have two children of my own. They're both in their 20s, but as a teacher, I'm extremely concerned about children right now. And I would like to send out just an invite for parents to take a look at a doctor online. His name is Dr. Brian Ardis, BryanArdis. He talks a lot about the possible side effects that the vaccine that's going to be given out to the children here in the near future. He's got some great warnings that I think parents need to take a look at before they decide to give their son or daughter a shot.
Kelly, thank you so much for the very insightful call. And you, Kelly, you and I didn't talk before the show, so you had no idea that I had this lined up. And I want to play this for audience. You just heard Kelly there saying, hey, Chris, I'm concerned about what's going on with some of the potential after effects of this COVID shot. If you've been watching the media, like I do, there's an article out now where the Jewish community in New York City saying absolutely no advertising for the COVID shot for younger people. You've seen that over in Finland, some other Scandinavian countries. If you're under 30, no Moderna shot. There's now a lot of videos, I shouldn't say a lot of stories, I should say, some videos of 20 and younger people that are dealing with myocarditis, potential death with some of these situations. And then doctor, very important that I mentioned that he's a doctor, because you're going to hear his position in a moment. You're like, oh, yes, this gentleman probably has a pretty good idea about what's happening inside the brain and the body. This is Dr. Ben Carson, and I forgot about his title, so I want to play this for you so you can just be reminded of this gentleman's stature when it comes to science and neurology and biology.
You headed the pediatric neurosurgery unit at Johns Hopkins. Do you agree with the CDC's decision to vaccinate children 5 to 11 with the Pfizer vaccine?
Absolutely not. The fact of the matter is the mortality rate for children from COVID-19 is 0.025, which is very similar to the rate for seasonal flu. And we haven't been for years and years going through all these things for seasonal flu. Plus, we don't know what the long-term impact of these vaccines is. So this is really sort of a giant experiment. Do we want to put our children at risk when we know that the risk of the disease to them is relatively small, but we don't know what the future risks are? Why would we do a thing like that? It makes no sense whatsoever. And also, getting to this whole ideal of natural immunity. There have been a number of studies that have shown that it is very, very effective. You look at the Cleveland Clinic study, 1,300 of their healthcare workers who had been previously infected, none of them got reinfected. So I know the CDC is coming out with their recommendations and trying to spin things their way. But, we ought to look at all.
Let me just kind of touch on this again, folks, because this is what I mean by we're living through a total psyop. You just had a gentleman here cite a study from the Cleveland Clinic. Okay. That's one of the most prominent healthcare clinics in the world, definitely United States of America. It just says, hey, they went 1,300 out of 1,300 of people that were previously infected with COVID, meaning they had the antibodies. They had, whoa, I'm going to say it, Pfizer. Come on. Natural immunity. Or as Justin might say, not just natural immunity, but I identify as vaccinated, right? If I have natural immunity, can I just identify as vaccinated? Anyways, he's like, hey, 1,300 out of 1,300 at the Cleveland Clinic. Just fine. Just fine, because they've got natural immunity. And then just to remind us here, this guy's, he's no slouch, right? He is the head of pediatric neurosurgery at Johns Hopkins University. The head of pediatric neurosurgery at Johns Hopkins University saying, hey, this is a trial. We are now using some drug as a trial on our kiddos, and it makes zero sense. I want to play one more clip for you because just to remind you just what you're being told again in the mainstream media about this shot, FDA, CDC, which we touched on this when it happened, but I just want to remind you, with the CDC, there were 14 people there that voted yay to essentially using our kids as lab rats for this shot. 14 people, okay, to determine a decision for potentially 28 million kids, our kids, your kids and my kids. And I don't know about you, but I don't know anybody that voted for those 14 people. So you've got 14 bureaucrats making decisions that's going to dictate the future for potentially 28 million kiddos. Speaking of the FDA and the CDC, I just want to play this for you. This is a clip from the 8-hour booster hearing. So this is from like mid-September, but this is an 8-hour booster hearing. This is Dr. Paul Alexander, and please listen closely to what he has to say about the COVID shot and kids.
Investigated. The public needs this answer properly. And I want to end by saying this. Under no condition, none, zero, based on the evidence today, must children be indicated for these vaccines. There is no risk to children, no statistical zero in terms of spreading and in terms of getting serious illness or dying from this. Dr. Martin Makary at Johns Hopkins, they looked at all of the data. Hello?
Yeah, we're out of time, sir.
Okay, thank you.
You can wrap it up.
Yes, we looked at the children in America that have died, and we found that save one, most these children had at least one severe illness. So the reality is COVID is not a life-ending, life-threatening situation for children. Right now, the CDC and the NIH have not prosecuted the case as to why these children should be vaccinated, period.
Wow. The CDC, the NIH, they have not prosecuted the reasons as to why our kids should be vaccinated. The numbers just do not bear it out. And yet they continue, obviously, to push and push and push and push and push, which I shared with you before. Thank you very much. Brooke Sullivan says crimes against humanity trials needed. I shared with you the video a moment ago, sponsored by Pfizer. And saying, hey, kid, get the shot. Guess what? If you get the shot, you too can be a superhero because you're awesome, because you were part of the clinical trials. And so I want to play this just to remind you what kind of psyop is happening right now in our mainstream media. Money talks, and really any media, right? Talks here at the Flag, talks in mainstream media, talks anywhere, because that's how we get to bring you programming for essentially for free. So just to remind you what's happening also behind the scenes on a national scale, let's play this clip for you one more time before we bring in a special guest in our next segment.
Is brought to you by Pfizer. CBS Health Watch sponsored by Pfizer. Anderson Cooper 360. Brought to you by Pfizer.
ABC News Nightline. Brought to you by Pfizer. Making a difference. Brought to you by Pfizer.
CNN Tonight. Brought to you by Pfizer. Early Start. Brought to you by Pfizer. Friday night on Aaron Burnett Out Front. Brought to you by Pfizer.
This Week with George Stephanopoulos is brought to you by Pfizer.
All right, you get the point, right? Hey, this is the mainstream media brought to you by Pfizer. I'm going to cut it short there because we have a very special guest that just called into the show. We invited him in. I believe he's on a layover, so he's been very gracious with our time. The one and only Mr. Senator John Hoeven. Senator, thanks so much for joining the show. I know we've got you for a limited amount of time, so I want to jump right in here. OSHA came out with these new rules today. As you're well aware, there is a special session coming up. They want to pass a law that suggests no mandates in the great state of North Dakota. According to OSHA, sir, their rules will preempt, supersede any state, political subdivision, local laws that try to get rid of these mandates. What say you?
Well, first, Chris, good to be with you, and good luck with the new show.
Thank
I know
you.
You're just starting out there, so want to wish you the best, and good to be on with you. Good to visit with you. Greetings to your listeners, and I mean this is a big time overreach by the administration. I don't think it's constitutional, and so we're already working very hard to knock this proposed OSHA rule down. And I was at a press conference. I don't know if you saw, but myself and 10 or more of us senators had a press conference yesterday and went out, and we already are sponsoring what's called the Congressional Review Act, which would seek to reverse this regulation by OSHA. And so we're working to see if we can get enough votes to pass that. And I think that gives us a shot to knock it down. But also, we need to press this in the courts. And if we can get an injunction to stop it so that it isn't implemented, and then hopefully the courts will actually strike it down. So I do feel that it's an overreach. It goes beyond what is allowed under the Constitution or our civil rights, and we're working to reverse it.
Senator, I want to get to the presser yesterday in a moment, and you're talking about the courts, CRA. I guess the question that I have and many people is, you just said, hey, Chris, congrats on the new gig. Well, part of the reason I'm here is because of the mandate at my old gig, right? And so in my eyes, I could say, man, the government moved too slow, right? That you guys didn't get this done fast enough to help me. There's many people that are going to say the same thing. So what's the reality of a timeline that you guys can actually get a CRA or get it through the courts to make a difference?
Well, remember, in your case, it was your company that decided to impose that. They weren't mandated to do it. They decided to do it. And so that's different than what we're talking about now. Now we're talking about the government trying to mandate it on these companies. Any company that has more than 100 employees, and it would take effect January 4. And that's why they just proposed today. We were actually out with our legislation before they actually even proposed it. And so I think that's the difference in your case with the company you work for. When they decided to implement a mandate, they weren't required to do that by the government.
Well, they are over, because it's gray media, so they are over 100 employees, Senator. And so that was, I believe, their impetus to do it. And as you know, the challenge is everyone, like I've talked to people, and I think even you had mentioned, hey, these are private companies, and now the government's trying to dictate to them. And you're right, because they're going to say, hey, if you don't do this, you're going to get fined $14,000 per citation, correct?
Right, but Chris, you can't reverse a regulation that hasn't been implemented yet.
Right.
You follow me? In other words, so I agree with you. I mean, I look, people should be able to make their own decision in consultation with their healthcare providers. We should not have these mandates. So I don't think these companies should be mandating it. And of course, that's why we're taking the action that we're taking. But your former company decided to go ahead and do that before they were required to do it.
So for the people listening, because we had a caller call in today, sir, who talked about his wife, facing the same thing. Like, how quickly could you put something in place that could stop these mandates to save people's jobs?
Well, that's what we're working on. That's why it's more than just one thing, right? So like I'm working at the federal level to try to reverse these mandates so that they aren't required under the law. And then what you see the state of North Dakota doing is saying to these companies, saying, hey, don't put these mandates in place. So it's going to take both, I think, really to get at, because there's all these different situations that you're talking about. I'm working now to get the federal agencies to not put mandates on their employees and to get their people back out in the office because they need to be out there serving their constituents. Same thing with law enforcement, same thing with the media. So it's going to take, a lot more than just one effort. And it's going to take more than just, it's going to have to be federal level, state level. Again, and this goes back to what, Chris, you and I've talked about a lot, and that's preserving people's civil liberties and constitutional rights.
So does OSHA have the power to supersede a state law, sir? Because that's what they're suggesting in this new ruling.
Well, they're going to assert that they do, which is why we need to reverse it at the federal level, and then the state law would apply because we reversed their regulation.
Wow, that is just frightening. So I want to play something for audience.
I don't think they do. I mean, I don't think they have the constitutional authority to do this. So I think the courts will enjoin it and then reverse it. That's my belief. But when they issue a rule that is within their authority, then it would apply across states. And so that's what they're talking about. But again, I think they're going beyond their authority, and that's why we're seeking to reverse it. And then the states would be able to, pass, their legislation and implement, what they think is appropriate to help these companies,
So I want to play a clip from you yesterday because I thought you knocked it out of the park in a piece. But before we do, and I apologize for my ignorance, what is a CRA exactly, and what is that going to do?
Yeah, no, good question. It's called the Congressional Review Act, and it allows Congress to come in and strike down a regulation if that regulation exceeds the legislative authority of the agency. So if the executive branch goes beyond the actual authority it's been given under a law through one of its agencies, then under the Congressional Review Act, we can reverse that regulation. And that's what we're seeking to impose. So now we actually have already filed the bill. We've already got like 42 people on it. We're working hard on it. And, OSHA actually just came out today with their proposed regulation. That regulation would not take effect until January 4. We're trying to enjoin it prior to that, so stop it and then get a court to strike it down.
Sir, one last question before I play the clip. So you look at what's going on at the border. You saw what the administration did when the Supreme Court said, hey, no, you can't continue with the moratorium. Now you're saying they're overstepping their bounds with this OSHA ruling. Do you think Joe Biden should be impeached?
Well, look, I mean, I think he's completely in the wrong. I mean, we can go through all these issues. Clearly, he's wrong in his approach. Ultimately, that's something the House, impeachment starts in the House. So that's something that the House would have to take up. And obviously, you got a Democrat majority. So back to what we talked about before, we've got to win the election. To stop what they're doing, we've got to win the election in 22. And then to reverse it, we've actually got to win that election in 24.
You got
and so we've got to go ahead.
I was gonna say, you got to feel pretty good about that after what you saw on Tuesday, don't you?
Well, I think so. I think that's exactly what people are saying, that the Biden administration across the board, we can go through any one of these issues. Yeah. They're taking the wrong approach. I mean, whether it's the border, whether it's the military, whether it's these mandates, whether it's this tax and spend stuff, whether it's regulation, across the board, it's the wrong approach.
I mean, it's stunning. So I want to play just a quick bit from yesterday from this presser and then ask you a question about it because I think this was very fascinating to hear you say.
I was home in North Dakota over the weekend, got around the state, and I heard about this issue more than any other issue, hands down. And from people from all walks of life, older people, younger people, moms and dads. Clearly, this is something that Americans are very concerned about.
So, Senator, if you don't mind, take us inside, because we don't get to travel the state like you do. Take us inside these conversations in different parts of the state, and what are people saying to you?
Just that, Chris. I've been going around the state, talking to people, getting their input on what's going on. And the number one thing they're bringing up, before it was the border, for a while it was Afghanistan. It's a variety of things. Law enforcement, and people are very concerned about all these things, and they think the administration is taking the wrong approach, which is absolutely the case. But right now, the number one thing that people talk to me about is this, these mandates, these vaccine mandates, and particularly now trying to get employers, businesses to essentially enforce these mandates from the federal government. People really are concerned about this. They're angry about it. And think about it, Chris, at a time when we're trying to get people back into the workforce, when we're trying to get them beyond all these negative ramifications of the COVID, the psychological thing. Think about kids being forced to wear these masks in school, all these different things. Then to bring this kind of mandate is the wrong approach. And people, they really are. They're really concerned about it. It's the number one. And I don't mean, it's not like any one group. It's young people, it's old people, it's women, it's men. But across the board, this is the number one thing I'm hearing about right now.
Well, Senator, thank you for stepping up and saying, hey, we need to stop this. One thing that I keep sharing with people, Senator, to hopefully solve this workforce issue is, hey, let's brand North Dakota as the freest state in the nation. I think that would help pull some people here. So hopefully you like that as well. And we'll give you the last word in about the last 60 seconds we have, sir.
It's incredibly important that we make sure we protect people's rights to make their own decisions. That's a hallmark of America. So absolutely the case. And again, good to be with you, Chris, and good luck with the show.
Thank you, Sen. I really appreciate you giving us some time. I know you're traveling, so travel safe, get home safe. And I know you can't say this, but we have to say it here in Fargo, go Bison, right? You and I always get a chance to talk some football. So
I can say it, go Bison. Okay. You got it right. Doing those jacks, go Bison.
Yeah, we got a big one going on this weekend. So we'll have you back and talk some pigskin, okay?
Yeah, I like that. That sounds great.
All right, Senator. Thank you very much. All right, Senator John Hoeven there, just a fantastic insight. And I really appreciate the fact that, because, you know, I don't get the chance to travel the state like a senator does. And him saying, hey, Chris, doesn't matter where I go, doesn't matter who I'm talking to, how old, how young, the thing that's on the top of their mind right now is this mandate. That's why I want to remind you on Monday. So we're just a few days away. Come out and join us Monday in Bismarck and be there for the We the People, We Will Not Comply rally on the Capitol steps in Bismarck from noon to 2. Going to be an amazing event. Blind Joe's going to be there. I'm emceeing it. We're going to have a ton of fun and make a difference. Also, tomorrow, be sure and join us. We got our Feel Good, Faith-Filled Fridays with free food at the flag. Free food at the flag at 5 p.m. So come out and join us tomorrow. We're going to have some food and fellowship. And it's just nice to hang out again, like face-to-face, person-to-person. So if you want to come join some great people and have some great conversation, and some very delicious food, thanks to Casey Joe's Catering. Again, that's Casey Joe's Catering. Check them out at CaseyJoesCatering.com. Come join us tomorrow night at 5 p.m. All right, Chris Berg here. Have a beautiful day. Coming to you live from the PetroServe USA studios.